Okay, so today we'll be learning about the American Revolution and what led to the revolution. Okay, so these are possible test questions, so I would take notes over this portion. And these are very important questions. What led to the writing of the Declaration of Independence and the Revolutionary War? The French and Indian War. Britain helped colonists defeat French in the war. Britain needed money to pay for war expenses. British tax colonists on restrictions and settlement and limited self-government. So Britain did not allow the colonists to do much after the French and Indian War. The Sugar Act and the Stamp Act. These were both taxes placed on the colonists from Great Britain. British taxed colonists on many of the goods coming into the colonies and from other places. British imposed taxes on all paper products and stamped the item once they had been played. A reaction from the colonists was no taxation without representation. The colonists had no say in government and had no say in the amount of taxes that were imposed upon them. Various protests were Patrick Henry's speech, Sons and Daughters of Liberty, Benjamin Franklin's visit to Parliament, and the Boston Massacre. The Boston Tea Party. Lower price on British tea. Colonists still pay taxes. Boycotted British tea. Sons of Liberty dressed in disguises and dumped British tea overboard. This enraged Britain, and new taxes were placed upon the colonies after this happened. These new taxes were called the Intolerable Acts and were the strongest and most strict taxes ever placed on the colonies. The Royal Navy blockades the Boston Harbor so no colonial goods could be sent out until tea was paid for. Colonists had to quarter the British soldiers. The king assigned British General Gage to be the governor of Massachusetts. The First Continental Congress meets in Philadelphia. Conflict at Lexington and Concord. British General Gage learned of hidden weapons in Concord. Two lanterns hung in the church tower and warned the British coming by sea, Charles River. Paul Revere and William Dawes made a midnight run to the Minutemen approaching from the British soldiers. This ended up being the first battle of the Revolutionary War, and is something you'll probably want to be writing down at this point. This is the Second Continental Congress. Representatives brought money to help establish the Second Continental Congress. This was a gathering of most of the colonies. They wanted to come together and try to form a government, and this was their second try at this. They wanted to branch away from Britain. And this was also the formation of the Continental Army. Okay, the official meaning of declaration is an official statement. Independence is the freedom to govern oneself. So put those together, and the Declaration of Independence literally means an official statement of people to govern themselves. The colonies were tired of being governed by an alien nation. They wanted to govern themselves. They wanted self-rule. Who was involved in this Declaration of Independence? Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, Robert R. Livingston, Roger Sherman, Thomas Jefferson. Where did it all take place? Okay, this is where the Declaration of Independence was written, where it was drafted, and where it was viewed by most people when it was being written. Okay, this is a replica of the Graff House where the Jefferson wrote the majority of the first draft of the Declaration of Independence. The original building at this location was destroyed in 1888. What did it look like? This is a good idea of what it looked like, and this is kind of a rough draft of it, written by Thomas Jefferson. Who signed it first? John Hancock. Okay, so now it is kept in Washington in a museum. And signing this document was committing treason against Britain, and everyone who signed it was risking their lives to stand up for their nation. And that's it. Thank you.